No, it's Clive Roxinger here. One thing I've encountered when I started making some of this stuff, this particular one, I don't even know why I'm making it. It is something that I have a problem with, but I'm kind of stalled with all the other stuff, and I find myself, messing around with this. But one of the things that you must do with anything is you've got to practice at it. And with art, they say, draw everything. And with this, the thing with 3D printing, and especially with design, one of the things that you'll find halfway through a design, and I've encountered this quite a few times, where you think, oh, why am I spending so much time on this? What it comes down to is that people go right out of their way to practice things and do stupid stuff in order to help them to be better at what they do. Now, when you think about it, to go on a weightlifting competition, look at all of the rigmarole you've got to go through to be a powerlifter. I was training like 9 hours at a time, and I was lifting tons and tons of weights. I ended up picking up 420 pound. But the point is that people go to a lot of trouble developing processes to help them get better at what they do. And like musicians, they play scales, and you could very well argue, what a stupid thing, what are you playing there? You're not even playing anything, you're just going up and down. People are looking out for things to help them get better at what they do, and this thing, although I'm spending a huge amount of time in it, what it is it's hard. And that's kind of what I target. I always go for the hard things. Why? Because that's what makes you better at everything. And you really don't want to wait until you get a difficult job to learn it. So, it's damage control. You don't wait until it lands on top of you and you think, I should have jumped out of the way there. Maybe I'll practice at jumping out of the way. With anything, you're looking for things to make you better. And the one thing that struck me with this is I loved it because it was so complicated. And even though it might be a silly design, what I'm trying to do is encapsulate this inside a container. And it was difficult. And I thought that's what's drawn me to it. Because what it does is it hones and sharpens my processes so that I learn to do this stuff more efficiently. You'll learn a lot of stuff along the way. This is it. This is the modified version of it. It's got beveled edges, it's got cutaways, it's got resized holes. Oh, I'm getting right down to the nitty gritty with this. And one of the things I found with 3D printing is it's often beneficial to actually draw the bit. See here, I've actually drawn it's not pulling the battery terminal out, but I've actually drawn the battery. It won't go back. Alright, so, control Z, there you go. I've even gone and drawn the wires, because that's a skill that you have to have. You have to learn to do everything with 3D printing, and I could make toys and be learning, but the thing is, with this particular piece of equipment, it involves leverage, and leverage and PLA don't go well together. What I'm going to be doing is buying a nibbler, and with engineering and the basis of composites is that skin strength is quite a high percentage of the strength of something. So if you get something that's got a skin on it, it makes it a lot stronger the thicker that skin is. And the idea is you get the PLA, and you put aluminium or steel sheet on both sides of it. It makes it super strong. And I just cut that out with a nibbler out of flat plate. You've got to make it very flat, so you can't use tin snips or anything. And then what I can do is I can reinforce parts and make them strong. Now I could make that about a couple of millimetres wide by putting a couple of thin plates either side of it, and then you screw them on or glue them or whatever. But the bottom line is that taking on the complicated jobs teaches you processes, and it teaches you to work with tight tolerances, And that's what I'm trying to learn. And I find that even though I'm spending a huge amount of time on this, it's really paying off, because I'm learning processes and that I'm being able to do multiple things at a time now, and I'm also learning to use Blender a lot more. So if you're making something in 3D and it's like taking you 3 weeks and you think, why am I doing this? Because it's not the job that you're learning, it's all of the things that you're learning along the way. It's how to deal with complicated jobs. How did I go about that? And then when you have a job where it's got tight tolerances, I know how to do it because I've done it before. You know, and that's where you want to do it. You don't want to wait until it lands on top of you and then think, oh geez, I should have jumped out of the way. Practice jumping out of the way first. So, you know, it's kind of like weightlifting. You want to be a good weightlifter, you know, spend hours and hours doing it beforehand, you know. And any sports like that, you know, running, how do you be a good runner, you know, run hundreds of miles before you go on the race? Well, with 3D printing, actually to be good at 3D printing, it all comes down to self-abuse. You've got to find the really hard and difficult jobs and do it a lot. And it makes you really, really good at it. I found that what's making me better at 3D art is the fact that I've had to design things and had to dimension them. And I just did a graphic with oh hang on, where is it? I'll just put that down. I just did a graphic. Where are we? I can't find it. And I'm back to drawing the Terran Fireblade and that, and I'm back on the IMC, the motorbike. And I drew it so much better because I'm better at drawing, because I've been drawing to specific tolerances with the 3D printer, so my art's getting better all the time. So, you know, these processes, you'll get halfway through it, you'll spend all this time, you think, why am I doing this? Because it's not the job that you're learning, it's the processes and it's the experience of working with difficult things, and the more you do it, the better at it you get. So, you know, you'll get times where you'll start to doubt, oh, why am I doing this? There's an easier way to do it. Yes, there are, but that's not necessarily what you're really learning. You're learning all of the other things around it. It's all the peripheral stuff you're learning along the way that really pays off. So, Clive Rocksinger, over and out.